Let's get right into it. Number 1. The early bird. Your body clock is set from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. While the world sleeps, your biological clock is already online. Not by habit, by design. You wake up alert, clear-headed, no caffeine, no warm-up. At dawn, your body shifts into a command state. External noise is low. Internal regulation takes over. Your circadian rhythm aligns peak prefrontal cortex activity with silence. Decision-making sharpens. Problem-solving becomes direct. Cortisol peaks naturally, clean, controlled, efficient. Not as stress, but as activation. Energy arrives before effort. Attention narrows. Cognitive load drops. Control holds without interference. This is not discipline, it's biology. When you complete your most important task in this window, the system rewards you. Your brain logs proactive completion before competition even begins. Dopamine releases early. It boosts motivation, confidence, and sustained performance. That psychological head start compounds. The signal doesn't fade. It sets the baseline. For the rest of the day, you're not hunting momentum. You're operating from surplus. This is the proactive monopoly. Others need stimulation to start. Your body already did. Number 2, the midday peak. Early morning wins by silence. Midday wins by signal. By now, the world is awake. Noise returns, decisions stack, and this is where most people start to fade. But your body clock does the opposite. From 8 to noon, activation evolves into precision. Cortisol stabilizes. Your brain slows down just enough to filter instead of just reacting. This is the daily high of impulse control. Errors stand out before they're even made. Risk becomes a math problem, not a gut feeling. This is the logic-heavy window. Negotiations tighten. Complex chaos simplifies. Your executive functions aren't just working, they're dominating. You're not faster than the early bird. You're more exact. This isn't the phase for bold moves. It's the phase for correct ones. This is the executive edge. While others feel the pressure rise, you feel it stabilize. Number 3, the social catalyst. Midday doesn't slow you down, it redirects you. Energy remains high, but pressure loosens. The edge softens, just enough. This is where the clock pivots from control to connection. Verbal processing peaks. Words arrive faster than resistance. Mirroring becomes automatic. You don't force rapport, you synchronize with it. Residual cortisol keeps confidence steady. Impulse control stays intact. You speak clearly without overthinking. This is the persuasion window. Ideas land smoother here. Pitches feel lighter, conversations flow without friction. Lunch isn't a break in momentum, it's a shift in currency. Instead of resting alone, interaction triggers social dopamine. You don't crash, you sustain. Feedback loops tighten. Trust builds faster than strategy ever could. This is where creators test hooks out loud, where ideas sharpen through reaction, not isolation. The advantage isn't extroversion, it's timing. This is the social catalyst. Others step away from work. You step into alignment. Number 4, the afternoon dip. This is the hour everyone tries to escape. Energy drops, focus slips, resistance rises. Most people fight the dip. That's the mistake. Because when control weakens, permission appears. Fatigue doesn't shut the brain down, it shuts the filter off. Logic loosens its grip. The inner critic goes quiet. Unrelated ideas stop getting rejected. This is the creative window, not despite tiredness, but because of it. As analytical systems cool, insight sneaks in. Connections form that a rested mind would block. You stop optimizing, you start discovering. Self-criticism fades. Risk feels lighter. Ideas get bolder. This is where myths get broken, where hooks get written, where wrong ideas survive long enough to become right. The dip isn't a crash, it's a phase shift. Melatonin rises, precision drops. Imagination widens. Short rest doesn't kill momentum here, it refuels it. Used correctly, fatigue becomes leverage. Number 5, the kinetic edge. The mind slows, the body steps forward. Late afternoon isn't about thinking harder, it's about moving better. This is when the clock shifts power away from cognition and hands it to coordination. Core body temperature reaches its daily high. Muscles fire more efficiently. Flexibility improves. Force transfers cleanly. Strength peaks. Speed sharpens. Accuracy tightens. This is not motivation. It's mechanics. Lung capacity expands. Oxygen uptake improves. Endurance holds longer without strain. Reaction time snaps into place. Movements feel automatic, precise without conscious control. Science calls it the kinetic window, where effort feels lighter and output feels heavier. For athletes, this is the golden hour. For creators, it's visual authority. Demonstrations look sharper. Energy reads louder on camera. Experiments feel embodied, not explained. You don't convince with words here, you show. The myth is that the day is ending. The reality is that the body is peaking. Number 6, the Twilight Pivot. As the sun goes down, control goes quiet. The analytical mind steps back. The emotional mind steps forward. You don't think less, you feel more accurately. This is the pivot. Cortisol drops, defenses loosen, subtext gets louder. You start hearing what people mean, not just what they say. Mirror neurons light up. Rapport becomes effortless. Connection stops feeling strategic. Logic no longer interrupts emotion. Vulnerability survives the filter. This is the empathy window, where trust forms faster than arguments ever could. Conversations deepen without force. Silence becomes informative. Micro-expressions tell full stories. This is not the hour for analysis. It's the hour for alignment. Group dinners turn into insight labs. Feedback arrives unguarded. Stories surface without prompting. For creators, this is raw data, human data. You don't extract ideas here, you absorb them. This is where scripts get soul, where psychology stops being theory and becomes lived experience. The myth is that evenings are for winding down. The truth is, they're for tuning in. This is the Twilight Pivot. Others log off. You log deeper. Number 7. The Wolf. Morning wins by dominance. Midday wins by precision. Afternoon wins by chaos. Evening wins by connection. Night wins by plasticity. When others fade, your brain rewires. This is not leftover energy. It's a second ignition. The prefrontal cortex comes back online, not sharper but more flexible. Learning accelerates. Patterns rearrange. Problems that resisted you all day start to loosen. This is the wolf window. Silence returns, but different from morning silence. No urgency, no competition. Distractions don't fight you here, they disappear. The default mode network wakes up. Ideas link sideways instead of forward. Old blocks open through new paths. This is where stubborn scripts crack, where models finally click, where insight arrives without force. Dopamine sensitivity rises, motivation feels intrinsic, practice stops feeling like effort. You don't push skills here, you install them. This isn't rebellion against sleep. It's a delayed rhythm. Used correctly, the night isn't a liability, it's advantage. Number 8. The Silent Architect. By midnight, effort ends, but intelligence doesn't. While you disappear, the system takes over. This is not rest. This is reconstruction. The brain enters its deepest maintenance phase. Noise is gone. Conscious thought is offline. And that's the point. The glymphatic system activates. Toxins flush out. Mental fog clears before it ever forms. What you learned today doesn't fade. It gets rewritten. Memories replay quietly between hippocampus and prefrontal cortex. Insights stabilize. Patterns lock in. You don't remember more because you tried harder. You remember more because the brain finished the job. As REM cycles intensify toward dawn, emotion gets processed. Unresolved tension dissolves. Creative knots untie themselves. Problems you couldn't solve awake get solved without you. This is where scripts refine themselves, where hooks sharpen silently, where meaning survives sleep. Growth hormone peaks. Neural wear repairs. Cognitive capacity resets. Skipping this phase doesn't save time. It erases gains. All-nighters borrow against tomorrow. The silent architect compounds it. This is the final advantage. Invisible, unnegotiable. Number 9. The Master Calibration. The blueprints are universal, but the timing is personal. Your body clock isn't a cage, it's a fingerprint. Standard issue is a myth. To find your edge, stop looking at the clock on the wall. Start tracking the clock in your blood. For 72 hours, ignore the shoulds. Track 3 metrics: spontaneous awakening, peak focus, and the gravity shift. When do you wake up without an alarm? That is your true start. When does deep work feel like a flow, not a fight? That is your executive window. When does the world feel heavy? That is your creative dip. The goal isn't to force a 5 a.m. habit, it's to align your hardest tasks with your highest signals. If you're a wolf, don't hunt at dawn. If you're an early bird, don't negotiate at midnight. Efficiency is doing things right. Effectiveness is doing them at the right time. Stop fighting the rotation of the earth. Start synchronizing with it. This is the final advantage, knowing yourself. In conclusion, what if your day isn't broken? You're just using the wrong hour. Your body clock hides advantages most people ignore. Please comment the hour you'll use differently, like the video, and subscribe to make time work for you.